What's good, everybody? Welcome back to the Cloud Slayer channel. Hope you guys are doing well. Today we got a Monday Ramble. What is it? March 23rd, 2026, man. Years are flying by. Is what it is, right? We all we all doubt it when we're young. Adults tell us time's flying will fly by. Before you know it, you're going to be an old person and stuff like that, right? But you take it for granted when you're a kid, and you don't realize it until you're older and you have kids, and they're getting big, they're sprouting up really fast, and they're approaching some of your ages, and they bring back memories that you had of that time of your life, right? And looking back could be really, really good for you, especially to see. Try to remember some of the things that you faced, some of the challenges, and let that be a reminder of not being too hard on your kids, right? I see it all the time. Some people pretty harsh on their kids, but you got to remember that you were young once as well, that you made mistakes as well, that when you're a kid, you don't often think about that stuff, right? And I got to remind myself of that too. My son, he's a good kid, and he does his best, right? And sometimes I am pretty harsh on him. I'll admit that, right? And I have to go back and I have to apologize from how intense I was during that some of those things, and he's got to apologize to him, let him know, hey, although you messed up on something, I was not right as well in the way I acted and how I approached this thing, right? And it's a balancing act, right? And one day maybe he'll get old, he'll start sassing back a lot more or something like that, which is fine, I don't want him just to take it neither. But, also to show him that I acknowledge that even though I'm the parent, that I also make mistakes. We all make mistakes. Everybody makes freaking mistakes, We're not perfect, and when those things happen, you gotta acknowledge those, and you gotta apologize for those things, right? And don't just deny it. Don't just lie about it. Don't just try to sweep it under the rug, right? You gotta face it head on, and figure out how to make those things better, make those things, address them, and do your best to correct those things, correct those wrongs. How are you going to approach it? How are you going to address this in your daily life, right? It's basic things that I have to get after him about, but those are, I'm sure every parent has to go through that as well. And my parents went through it with me as well, and stuff like that. And so I just, you got to discuss how you're going to do better, how you approach the situation, and then you got to address how they're going to do better, right? And maybe get some ideas on what they think they should be doing as well. Because although you're the parent, you got to kind of approach it as making it their idea as well, to think up of something to be better at it. And maybe that helps them brainstorm and stuff like that, right? Instead of just yelling at them to yell at them, because then they're pretty soon it's going to be one ear out the other. That's just my dad, man. He just, he's up on my butthole about these things, and he's out of line sometimes, whatever. Parents just don't understand. But, it's not just that. It's figuring out what they can also do better, that they know that they did something wrong, but they not only know that they did something wrong, but that they got to come up with a way or an approach to do better next time, right? Or at least think about it, or they're thinking about what was wrong with that, and not just, oh, I'm wrong, but I don't know what's actually wrong about it and stuff like that. And it's tough, right? You have to have it's tough to have those conversations. It's tough to, try to hold your kid accountable. And sometimes you got to look at what you're doing too, because sometimes it's hard to hold people accountable if you're not holding yourself accountable, right? And, so I guess that's one of the main things is, like, if you're going to be about it, you're going to force this human being to do those things, then you got to also force yourself to do those things as well. You got to also hold yourself to the same standard. And, it's always easier said than done. It's tough to realize that you're not doing something correctly, that you have to address that thing as well to yourself, and figure out a way to correct that action, to correct it, right? If you're going to critique others, you got to critique yourself as well. And I think that's one of the fair things in life, right? That you got to figure out, especially if you're going to raise somebody, a young person. They're going to be extremely confused if you're on their back about cleaning the room and you don't clean your own room or something like that, right? Or you want them to put things away and you just leave everything out and all over the place. Are they going to listen at that point? Or are they going to, take it in like you think like you want them to, but they don't? You can't continue to get mad at them. You got to look at what you're doing as well. So, I guess I got to throw that out there. And like I always say, that none of this is at specific people. This is a reminder to myself as well, because I am not a perfect person. Nobody is. And, sometimes I got to lighten up and figure these things out, because I'm human, right? We're all humans, and we don't know until we go through them how difficult those things can actually be. And we took those for granted as kids. Now you're adults. Now you're having kids. Now you're doing whatever with your life. But now's the perfect time to figure that out and address those things and get better, right? Because life's going to continue on. So be it. But thanks everybody for tuning in. I hope you guys have a great one. Until next time, peace.